Wit Bernie made this awesome comment before the show, and I kind of enjoyed it, and I wanted to elaborate on it a little bit. He says, "You really are a wizard, Craig Chamberlain. You are actually able to wake up my tablet, post to my calendar, and send a ringtone. I'm not mad. I'm floored." So let's talk about this event thing a little bit. When you're scheduling these events on Google+, Google gives you a lot of power now. Actually, in fact, I think they give us Hangout on Air guys too much power. The big Hangout on Air guy, if you're into Hangouts on Air at all, or into doing Hangouts or experimenting with them, is Ronnie Bincer. He's got a group called Hangout Mastery, and his website is thehangouthelper.com. And the reason I love Ronnie Bincer is because he's got a lot of free resources available, but for people like me who are really into it and want one-on-one consultations from him or get my questions answered, I pay the monthly subscription to his Hangout Mastery group, and it's well worth the money if you're interested in these. But a lot of what I've learned on my event creation and posting it to your calendar is from Ronnie Bincer. It's very difficult to balance as a Hangout on Air personality, appropriate amount of invitations along with all this other context that shows up in it. So for example, if you are attempting to create a Hangout on Air, a couple recommendations I'm going to throw out there from what I've learned in my short time doing this. Recommendation number one, make sure when you schedule an event that you invite your community, if you have a community, and you schedule it for public. If you do not do that at the time of event creation, you will deal with all kinds of headaches because the public cannot access it. So you have to make sure that those two groups get invited. Tip number two for when you're scheduling your Hangout on Air. I strongly recommend that you invite as many people as possible who you will not be spamming, because here's the thing about Google+. By default, it enables email notifications. And this is a good thing and a bad thing for those of us who are content creators. It's a bad thing because you can easily be interpreted as a spammer. So what will happen is if I send a personal invitation to my circles to this event, it does send you an email. That being said, I usually don't send you a personal invitation unless you've shown some previous interest in my show in some way, shape, or form. And if for any reason whatsoever you no longer want to receive invitations, you can just ping me and I will add you to my do not invite list. And that's really how I kind of manage things on my end. Now for the event page, like you said, this is for tip number 3. Google Plus also automatically, when I send you an invitation to my Hangout, they automatically push my event right onto your calendar as an invitation. Now, it's not going to do what you said, Wit, and it's not going to ping you with a reminder unless you accept my invitation. So you have to say, yes, I'm going to attend that event. And then, of course, 10 minutes, 15 minutes before the show, Google takes care of all the stuff for me. It's a magical thing. It actually will do a pop-up reminder depending on however you have your event scheduled up. Now, if you hate all this, if this is the part that drives you guys crazy because you are sitting here and you're like, man, I'm tired of all these email notifications, one of the notification things out of the default for all these Google Plus these settings is that you basically are forced to absorb every notification in your email by default. So if you highlight over your profile on Google Plus and you click on settings, all the way at the bottom, you're going to get a whole page full of options to go down, and there's a notification option, and you can click the drop downs for mentions, for event invitations, and you can actually disable all of those email notifications if they drive you absolutely crazy. But thank you for calling me a wizard. I'm glad it doesn't drive you crazy. That's a compliment to me at least, because I'm trying not to invite people who wouldn't be interested in the show, and I appreciate that. Whew. It's a tough thing to do. It's a tough thing to balance. So, anyways, good stuff. Thank you. Thank you for the question, Wit.